What's up everyone, and welcome to another Hate Watchers breakdown and review for episode 7 of House of the Dragon, entitled Driftmark. Without further ado, let's jump right into the breakdown. Spoilers ahead. We find ourselves on Driftmark, go figure, at the funeral for recently roasted Laena Velaryon, and everyone is here enjoying themselves. And we see Otto Hightower got the hand job he had been craving. Laena's uncle Vaemond gives the eulogy, which is basically just a bunch of threats towards everyone, and it takes 6 men to hoist Laena's fat ash into the sea. Cutting away, we see a bunch of dragons having a playdate. At the wake, everyone looks around at each other dramatically for like 15 minutes. Aegon and Aemond casually talk about marrying their sister. Sir Criston Cole points out that Larys is creeping on Queen Alicent hard. Jacaerys comforts his mourning cousins by awkwardly standing near them. And Aegon is trying to fucking party. High out of his mind, Laenor wanders into the sea. Corlys wants to kick this party up a notch and asks Sir Qarl to grab the Patron. King Viserys has started to wear a crown to hide his balding head. He wants Daemon to return to King's Landing, despite kicking him out 3 times already. King Biden gets Alicent's name wrong. The Patron clearly made it to Aegon, who's passed out nearby. Still salty, Corlys begrudges his wife Rhaenys not being named queen like 30 years ago. Rhaenyra says sex with her gay husband had no joy. Big surprise. She's also mad Daemon left her behind years ago and starts making moves on her uncle at his wife's funeral and a week after popping out her 3rd bastard child. Man, her eventual therapist is gonna be the richest person in the 7 kingdoms. Then they plow on the beach, because no amount of sand in her vagina can cause her as much pain as she feels in her soul. Aemond is apparently a genius and decides to sneak up on Vhagar, the largest dragon in the world. The dragon wakes up and Aemond calms it before climbing on its back. Vhagar looks at Aemond like, "Where do you think you're going, kid? I'm trying to fucking sleep here." Using up all of his white privilege, Aemond takes Vhagar for a no-consequence joyride. Upon his return, Aemond parks Vhagar exactly like you'd expect an 11-year-old would. Aemond is apparently a total dick now, acting like a teenager who just lost their virginity. He goes full Chris Brown on a girl's face, and then Daemon's kids and Rhaenyra's kids show him how they do it in the streets of Flea Bottom. This was kinda cool, to be honest. It's like a kid's play previewing the upcoming civil war between the Greens and Blacks. Aemond calls Luke and Jace bastards, and Cool Hand Luke takes Aemon's eye as a trophy, and I'm kinda freaked out by this 6-year-old's unnatural thirst for blood. Look at that face. Viserys wants answers on what happened. Rhaenyra demands to know where Aemond heard this rumor of her children being bastards, and everyone hurls barbs and insults at each other. Trying to lighten the mood, King Viserys asks the recently half-blinded kid to look at him, and he gets a few chuckles from the crowd. The poor king demands that everyone goes just 1 episode without tearing his family apart. Queen Alicent isn't satisfied with her husband's sense of justice, and takes the old saying too literally when she demands an eye for an eye, ordering Sir Criston to take one of Luke's. Rhaenyra tries to quickly take her family out of there with all of their eyes, but Queen Alicent takes Viserys' dagger and tries to stab Rhaenyra, proving to everyone that she is one crazy bitch. She cuts Rhaenyra's arm and oh my god, everyone stay calm. Shit is about to pop off. Unfortunately, cooler heads prevail, and Aemond is a true sociopath now as he says he's fine. He's simply traded an eye for a dragon. Otto consoles his daughter Alicent and basically says he's proud of her.
We play an ugly game.
Of Thrones. He's really just happy Aemond was able to steal Vhagar. Elsewhere, Rhaenyra is going too far with her Halloween makeup this year. Laenor says he's failed Rhaenyra and their marriage, and the king ain't doing too hot. Daemon doesn't know what to do with his hands, so he copies Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra and Daemon talk about the sea like they've been watching too many Rings of Power episodes. Sir Larys pleads with Queen Alicent like, "Dude, just let me do some more heinous murders."
These are dangerous times.
Yeah, because of you, you club-footed dick. Rhaenyra name drops the Greens she'll be going to war with and requests that Daemon's dick move in permanently. Daemon takes longer to consider the proposal now that we've switched actresses for Rhaenyra. In order to marry Daemon, she knows Laenor must die, and she plans a double hate crime. Black and gay, double whammy. We see Sir Qarl pretending he wasn't staring at Daemon's butt, and Daemon asks him to kill Laenor. Daemon kills a random black guy. Laenor and Qarl start sword fighting, but not the kind of sword fighting the lovers usually engage in. Laenor gets roasted well done like his sister, and we've got a new power couple brewing with Rhaenyra and Daemon. What's their new couple name? Daenerys? Raymond? Easy choice between those two. Putting the FUN fun in funeral weekend, we wrap it up with Daenerys' wedding. The officiant says you may kiss the bride, and they start making out hard. We get a little twist, finding out that Laenor is alive and going for the popular neo-Nazi look, and he and his boyfriend sail off toward a new life in San Francisco, and the episode comes to an end. And with that, we've reached the point in the video where we have to decide if this episode was a great watch or a hate watch. Well, while this episode is still good for what it is, I can't keep giving these weekly filler episodes the great watch designation anymore. And it's definitely not a hate watch, which makes this a debate watch in between the two. I've come to terms with the fact that this first season just has a massive amount of backstory to lay out for the action we'll see in later seasons. Luckily, this show, unlike the Rings of Power, makes these kinds of episodes intriguing and fills them with enough drama to keep you awake. That being said, we are in desperate need for some action that isn't just a playground brawl with a knife thrown into the mix like we got in this episode. You can see now why they greatly expanded the crab feeder's role in this show from his half-a-page mention in the book. This show would basically have had nothing but talking up to this point without it. But we can see clearly now that the battle lines are drawn for the coming war, and everyone is just waiting for King Viserys to kick the bucket for the real fun to begin. Also, one other small issue with this episode is it felt like the first half of it was shot in the dark. Why put millions into making this show when we can hardly see it? Anyway, it's not a deal breaker, but I hate it when movies and shows do this. Oh, and my prediction for who steals Vhagar in this episode could not have been more wrong, so I won't repeat who I thought it was here. And finally, the next episode should give us our final big time jump, so it'll probably be the last episode designed to set the stage for the Dance of the Dragons, which I still predict will start in the final episode of this first season. A big thank you to everyone who made it this far into the video. Let us know in the comments below, whose side are you taking in the coming Civil War, green or black? Did anything in this episode change your opinion on who you're rooting for? Also, please remember to like the video if you liked it, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for weekly updates on reviews of new episodes for this show and others. Thank you again, and we'll catch you on the next one.